And as we await those comments from the French president, we're joined here on set by our French politics editor, Marc Perelman. So, Marc, we haven't heard publicly from the president since this pension reform passed. What do we expect him to say?
Well, clearly to explain why he did this, the way he did this, and why it was such a chaotic parliamentary process. The government really barely surviving motions of defiance. This was not planned. And Emmanuel Macron will need to explain to the French why he pushed through this reform now. Yes, he promised it, but he still has a lot of time on his mandate. And he also needs to tell the French, yes, I'm listening. We'll see what he announced. It's very unlikely that he will renounce to this bill or that he will reshuffle the government or call for early elections. But he might say to the French, on issues like protecting the environment or maybe some institutional reforms, because there's a lot of protest about the democratic process used by this law, that he might decide, yes, we need to talk about this. I'll make some proposal, come up with a referendum. But he wanted this public appearance because he then heads to Brussels for EU summit. King Charles is scheduled to come to France. The president then travels to China, to the Netherlands. So he'll probably tell the French, I'm listening, I'm working on a new chapter of my mandate, and I'll come back to you in a few weeks with some concrete proposals to try to turn the page. Obviously, this might not go down well with the streets, with the unions. We have tomorrow a big day of strikes and demonstrations, and we know the unions are really, really up in arms because of Emmanuel Macron's use of the Article 49.3 in Parliament that essentially railroaded this very controversial reform. And they're not happy with it. They're probably going to show it tomorrow.
Yeah, he really wants to turn the page. We'll have to see if he'll be able to do that. Our French politics editor, Marc Perelman. Marc, thanks as always.